Okay, so what I said at the beginning of the previous recording was incorrect. Version 9 of the Segoy toolkit didn't just come out at the time I recorded that. In fact, it had been out for several months. I don't remember when exactly it came out, but it's been out for several months. It's just that's the first time I saw the literature about it by chance. That person is already up to version 10.1. Now, in this recording, I'm going to try version 10.1. I still have the version I previously was using, which was actually version 7, still on my computer. And I can still go back to that if it does not work well. But I'm going to try 10.1. I did manage to load in the old color settings data from the one I made using version 7. However, it may interpret that differently because it's a different version. We already have these binarized values going on. So, things might get a little janky, and it might have to, if you forgive me, there might be some dithering trying to get it to work right off the bat. I haven't done anything to make it run on the GPU. So it may not necessarily be as fast as it possibly could be, but we'll see what happens. Also, if there was a much more background noise, or more like breathing noise, my infamous nose hiss, in the immediately previous recording, that was just because at the time I couldn't get my noise filter input device to work on OBS in that particular boot session. I don't know why, but it worked this time, so back to normal. Now, one thing that is important here is I actually got around to editing some of the audio. And in the first recording of the second tranche, the sound effects relative to the voice acting were way too loud at the beginning of the recording. I was somewhere like, I don't know, 3 hours in or something. I decided, I noticed this, and then I reduced the sound effects level relatively. But after going through the audio files, that level is still too loud. It's going to make kind of an editing sort of annoyance on that first part. Because I'm settled. I'm satisfied with the recordings in the first tranche. Well, I'm not completely satisfied because I think the noise level is still too loud, but I'm going to keep what I have. From the second recording of the first tranche onward till here, but the first recording of the first tranche I might need to do a little more work. What this means, though, is those settings, those audio levels, would have been the same audio levels that I would have been using the first tranche. The ones from like years ago, where I used like a real old version of the OCR, right, with a white box instead of the blue one, if you remember that. That would have had really loud sound effects relative to the voice acting, and relative to my voice as well, like the water noise and the beeping noise and those kind of things. And I don't remember if I did anything editing with that. So, those are bad anyway, but that's just another reason why they were bad. That's like a mess. Anyway, so I'm going to try to fix it now. Also, I want to figure out how to mess with the skip mode. So, right now I have the skip mode such that it just basically skips anything, but I want to change it till it only skips when it's unread. So let's see if I can get the OCR to translate this for me. This may be the first dithering, the first mess that gets made. Okay, let's try to make this binarize correctly. I want black text on a white background. Okay, so that's wrong. Let's make this 0. This is just, okay. So don't do any binarize, just do invert binarize. Let's see if this works. It's still doing the same problems. It's also not showing me the capture image, which is disturbing. I don't like that. Huh. Okay. So I can't really tell what that means. Let's try the other side here. Okay, we're actually already freezing. This is not good. I have to go back to V7. It is really not happy. What's on the clipboard? Okay. Interesting. Huh. Well, well, it's an opportunity to record I don't want to miss. So in order to get into my time window, I'm going to load up the old version of the OCR I've always been using, and then just do that because this is immediately only let me do one capture, and then I can't do any repeat captures. Like the previous version, I could just hit the translate button, it would go again. Hit the translate button, it would go again. This is not doing that, right? This is just, it's like instantly failing. Nope. This new tool, instant or simple, which huh. Yeah, it's straight up not working. Okay. Interesting. I wonder if there's a way I can fix this. So I'm going to pause my encoding of this and get back to it. Okay, I'm back. I'm back to the old OCR. I didn't investigate this too much, but when I had to close all the command prompt windows that open when you open the OCR, there seemed to be a bunch of errors in there. So that might be helpful. I don't know. It might have something to do with, I actually tried to delete the extracted folder and then re-unzip it. And the reason why I did that is because I was doing the extraction of the zip in the middle overnight. It's many gigabytes of data. And as you would expect, Windows 10 decided to automatically restart, which sometimes it gives you some warning that it's going to do that, but of course I always miss those warnings. You don't like get a pop-up, right? You have to like go into, you have to like preempt and think, I'm going to have to do something overnight. I want to make sure Windows Update doesn't restart on me. So I'm going to go to the Windows Update settings and look and see if it will. And then you pause it, right? But I forgot to do that, as usual. So it auto restarted. Well, hopefully it might have, maybe it interrupted the unzip. Now, it probably didn't because it showed complete when I started back up again. But I did that just in case, right? But then also there might be something going on with Windows, like the Windows built-in security stuff, because every program that likes to write information programmatically to the clipboard, Windows Defender tends to think is a virus. This can include some autosave features in some old games, like one of the autosaves in like a version of Monog, actually, Monog 2. That's it. That's it. We'll give you this problem. But I have a lot of things I like to do, as you can tell, where I intentionally programmatically write stuff to my clipboard, and so that is very annoying to me. I'm always bumping into it. Um, So I'm thinking actually the skip mode is correct. What's actually happening is if you hold, it's not like what the behavior is not by pressing skip. Well, I'll try to translate this. Um, oh, I have to do through the settings because it's like in the menu. When I want to skip forward, I have to hold down skip, right? And if the settings are how I want them, where it only skips previously read text, um, okay, why is it not happy? Oh, okay. Um, Text that's previously been read. Whoops, got the stinking screen crop window. Um, um, the no. Um, okay, read only. Yeah. If I try to skip text that is already been read, it'll still let me skip it. I just have to hold down the skip, right? Whereas if it hadn't been read yet, I could just press skip and release and it would just keep skipping. So I think that's correct, but it was worrying me because I could skip in some way, even if there wasn't text I hadn't read yet. And then the second one I want to deal with here is the effects volume. So let's reduce it to 2 as opposed to 3. And hopefully that will be better. Is probably, do you want to save changes? Schistimo data, system data, overwrite. Yes, I do want to do that. That's like the word for, that's like kakimas, which is to write, but before it had the kanji meaning up. So basically that means like upright, which would be like overwrite. Right. Okay. Now I can go back into the game. Yes. So this is where we left off. Don't need to translate that line, though. I wonder if she'll act slightly differently in this remake. Like she's trying to get an opportunity, like, I managed to catch this guy, which might be my son alone, as opposed to, but probably not. Sugumi sighed heavily in annoyance at my question. Oh yeah, he says like, why are you avoiding us or whatever?
ねえ、もういい加減そういうのやめてほしいんだけど。
Because you are the poison bait. Ne. Is that a two introduced there because it misinterpreted the question mark? I wish you wouldn't do that anymore. What do you mean?
とぼけないでよ。お願いだから。
Yeah, Tsugumi tells the kid, "Don't talk to me anymore." At some point in the original, and then they wrote a what do you call it? Drama CD where Tsugumi tells Ryogo, who's in the body of Takeshi at some point. Yes, it works out that way. It's kind of random, kind of miscellaneous. Didn't I tell you not to talk to me anymore? But I don't remember anywhere in the actual story Tsugumi tells Takeshi, don't talk to me anymore. Okay. She says, what do you mean by that? Don't play dumb, please. Yeah, we're still got that. I honestly don't know what you're talking about. I'm not playing dumb.
しらちらしい。
That's an expression. Shirajiwashi. I don't think you can actually translate that. So Google Translate is to say. How ignorant. I know there's an extra ko that got inserted into the OCR thing that the offline translator is dealing with, but how like lecherous and ignorant are both kind of insults, but they're quite different from each other.
私、もう何もかも分かってるのよ。
Isn't lecherous kind of like licentious? It's kind of a similar idea. I already know everything, but with a question mark. I already know everything, you know. She doesn't, though. That's the thing. She has no idea why they're doing what they're doing. You wouldn't think that if you really think that the kid is just acting, right? You wouldn't think that he would think that you didn't know everything. That you think you know. You think you don't know. What are you talking about?
あなただって、みんな分かってやっているんでしょ?
Basically, Tsugumi's bluffing. But it doesn't work because he can't bluff the information out of him because he legitimately doesn't know, which is... You know what everyone else is doing, right? You know what you're doing, right? But it's Mina, so it's like, you know what you all are doing. Right? It's like... The combination. So the offline translator said, you know what everyone else is doing, right? And then the Google Translate said, you know what you are doing, right? They're disjoint. They're completely, everyone else excludes you. But what it's actually saying is just straight up everyone. So the correct answer, I believe, is actually the sum, or the union, of what the two translators said, which is, you know what you all are doing, right? Or just everyone without the else. You know, one or the other. You know what everyone is doing, right? I don't know, and I seem to have lost a lot of memory.
嘘つかないで!
I wonder if he'll translate this to BS. Well, I got the right kanji, but things are a little weird. Oh, it's don't lie. Okay. Now the kid's just really confused. Why does she think I'm lying about that? There is a reason. There is a reason, but it's like, you're not gonna... That's pretty legit. It's wrong, but it's legit. There's no way you'd understand. Maybe by wrong, but it's legit. It, makes sense. If you were Tsugumi, it would make perfect sense. It just happens by chance to be wrong. So, what are you... what do you think is the truth? So, what... Gets cut off.
バカバカしい.
That's baka baka. It's only double baka. Where's my kata? Turn. Okay. That's okay. So Google Translate also says that's ridiculous, but it's double baka, so it's double foolish.
とにかく私は騙されないから。
Anyway, I won't be fooled.
もう二度と私に声をかけないで。いいわね。
What do you think you're supposed to be being fooled at, though? Like, what do you think they're trying to make you believe that is false? So I don't understand. Like, you think they're trying to make you believe that you traveled back in time? That would be very... Like, you would think they'd be that stupid? Yeah, and this is where she says, "Don't ever talk to me again." Is that good? Don't call out to me again, okay? Is that okay? With that, Tsugumi left again. Why'd she show up, though? That's so weird. It's like that. Well, we're gonna ask that all this whole game. Why was she there? It's like she secretly wants to talk to him. It's a variation on tsundere. And then there was no one. Why is Tsugumi angry? I wonder what she's angry about.
あなただってみんな分かってやっているんでしょ。
This is, I know what... Do you know... You know what everyone is doing, right? Something like that. I mean, she doesn't even know what they're doing. She knows what they're doing in, like, a kind of a superficial sense, but she doesn't know, like, why they're doing it. Since I had no memory of it, I didn't know what Tsugumi wanted me to say. Right? Oh, or wanted me to stop doing. Without my memory, I didn't know what Tsugumi wanted me to stop. Yeah, wanted me to stop doing would probably be more natural, although maybe less literal. I sat in my chair for a while, thinking absent-mindedly.
もう食べられないよ。
So Takeshi just says I can't eat anymore? What was that about? I can hear peaceful mumbling in his sleep from Takeshi. Why is he sleeping in this room? I wonder if Takeshi knows that. Or knows what Tsugumi's mad about. Probably. I stare at Takeshi's sleeping face for a while. Man, I'm starting to get sleepy too. There's no match, I'm starting to get sleepy too. I left Takeshi, who was stretched out, and left the break room, thinking I should go to sleep. So you go to the infirmary, because you can remember those directions, can't you? As I walked down the corridor, I noticed something and stopped. Oh, is he gonna get a vision of Coco? Huh? A place to sleep. One. Oh, there's no one. There's just a dash. It can be interpreted as the kanji for one, but there's no one there. How do we get to the infirmary's? How do I get to the infirmary's decompression chamber? And I just started walking somewhere. Like, wait, where am I going? I was at a loss in the middle of the passages that looked the same. Well, what you should do is, if you remember what you're supposed to do, it's ask Sora. But you don't know that Sora can come running from anywhere, so... Where am I now? You wouldn't know to do that. You'll learn. There's no one around. I can't even ask for directions like this. Would you accidentally run into Tsugumi again? That's when I noticed a small noise. Oh, you ran into Chammy. Oh no. I looked around, searching for the source of the sound. Oh, it is a vision of Coco. I felt like someone had crossed at the end of the corridor. It's a girl! Or a woman. I think I've seen this girl somewhere before. But you haven't, though. That's the weird part. I followed the girl as if invited. Hey, wait, hey. The girl disappeared in the middle of the corridor. I hurried to the spot where she disappeared and found myself in front of the infirmary. I entered the infirmary. There was no one here. I proceed carefully to the back of the room. The door labeled decompression chamber catches my eye. I opened the door and went inside. It was a little dim inside the room, but the whole room was emitting a gentle light. I look at the back of the room and see the girl sitting on the bed. All of a sudden, I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to say. The girl is staring blankly at me. Who is this girl, and why is she here? I see the girl. This girl is the same as me. She is trapped here in the same way. Are you okay? Don't worry, you'll be okay, or something like that. The girl doesn't answer. Anyway, let's go to the others.
みんな
Oh, go to everybody. Everybody? Yeah, that's right. I'm not the only one. There are a lot of other comrades. I guess.
助けに来てくれたの
Have you come to save me? Yes, that's right.
でもきっと無理だよ
But I am sure that it is impossible. Eh?
もうどこにも出られないんだ
This is a new session. If I remember to do so, which I might not, sometimes I make things messy. I'm going to concatenated onto the old session because, or the immediately previous session, because that was only 20 minutes, and this one is likely only going to be 20 minutes. I did, after a few hours actually, after the previous attempt, tried to tried again using the version 10.1 of the Segoy toolkit, and I still couldn't get it to work. The command line prompt suggests in order to access the offline translator, it's trying to connect to a network, which is odd because it's supposed to be offline. So I don't know if there's like some sort of, like it's trying to make a common architecture with the online translators, and so it's trying to imitate a network. But that wouldn't really explain why it would be working on V7 and not V10, unless V10, the developer of this changed it, so to try to make it simpler, or is it something it's just kind of always doing, and there's some like kind of like junk that needs to be cleaned out, right? But it's also not clear if that is actually the reason why it stops working. When I tried it on recording, it managed to translate to capture a singular line, and then I tried to capture a second line, and it stopped working. When I tried to do it off recording, it didn't even capture a single line. I could not get it to work at all. So I'm going to continue using V7 until version 10.2 comes out. I don't think I'm going to be able to access intermediate versions like V8 or V9 because that's the way the developer works. They don't, he or she does not, I don't know which it is, does not publish those like old versions. Yeah, I also figured out that Luna Hook is part of a software suite called the Luna Translator. That has some OCR tools in it as well, but it's going to be a big learning curve, me trying to learn how to use that. I'm not really invested in that right now. Luna Translator, all of Windows Chrome and Windows 10's virus detection stuff really doesn't like it. And antivirus stuff tends to not like these translators because they do things like copy text to the clipboard programmatically, as I said before in previous recordings, maybe earlier in this part that I'm concatenating. And that action they just really flag that. They really just jump on that. And it's such a useful thing to do, though, in a non-virus context. It's really irritating that they jump on that real hard. It also makes it so that if something like the Luna Translator or any of these kind of real-time, translation tool things did actually have a virus in them, that it would be easy to sneak that into your computer because you go, oh, this is a translator thing. It does functions that the virus detection software flags. And so you would naturally want to just let it download anyway and let it run anyway and all that stuff. And if there was really truly a virus in there, you would just let it right through. So there's got to be some way to get around that. It's kind of an unfortunate thing, try to, I don't know what the solution is. But if you really wanted to infect a bunch of people's computers really easily with some horrible virus, a good way to do that is to make a screen translator or any sort of hooking tool or stuff like that and put a virus in it, because people will just think it's part of the tool and they will just ignore their virus software. And I can't guarantee that didn't happen to me, obviously. I can't go anywhere anymore. Okay, this is said by Coco. The girl's eyes were wet with loneliness as she said that. Okay, we could say from.
誰と話してるんだ？
Who are you talking to? There's Takeshi in the background. Oh, this must be. Is this a variation of the of this what do you call it, CG that they drew for the remake? Because I don't remember this face in the original. Let me try to just kind of press B here and kind of isolate that. We'll see it later in the menu, but I might forget to take the OCR off or whatever. It must be weird if Coco actually sees the Takeshi walk in because, say, the Takeshi, because it would be someone she wouldn't recognize wearing Takeshi's clothes. Yeah, the game is super weird and cheesy like that. 'Cause, like, why is Coco lonely? Right? Because she has Tsugumi, right? And somehow Coco and Tsugumi really get along. This weird, like, quirky thing they stuck into the plot. And it's kind of suggested that Coco talks to Tsugumi, like some of the times where Tsugumi's just missing and you just don't know where she is, whatever. Coco's actually there talking to her. And I guess what they're going for is she can see into the future and she can see that she's going to die soon. Somehow. We don't know how. It's just kind of shoehorned in. It doesn't have any explanation. There's a lot of things like that in Ever17 where it just doesn't explain it. It's just how it is, right? And there's someone who could save her, and that is so-called Blink Winkle. But Blink Winkle only is able to do that in one of many timelines. And so the vast majority of what she feels is upcoming impending doom. Because most timelines she dies. And she's not generally lonely in some sort of general sense that she's alone. She's lonely because Blink Winkle will not come for her. She's like lonely for a specific person, which is the person playing the game, which makes it really weird and cheesy. And it's kind of like rightfully so, because in most timelines, most cases, the person playing the game will fail her. Anyway. So Takeshi comes in and says, "Who are you talking to?" And it's kind of, and this is a big thing I'm noticing with this, is this kid's side so far, the dialogue is less changed from the original than it is in the Takeshi side. Now they tried to squeeze it, like they're trying to make it so it's the same thing seen from a different perspective. So they are applying changes, but where the dialogue doesn't depend on where they need to apply the changes to make it match Takeshi's side from Takeshi's perspective, it copies more of the original's dialogue, which suggests that they spent a whole bunch of time rewriting the Takeshi side, and then when they went to the kid's side, they like had less time and they were doing more copy and paste. Of course, there has been some changes, like they cut out like use dirtiness at the beginning, but it's like way more similar. They're also cutting out how mean Takeshi is. Like just that right there, like makes me notice, like the Takeshi so-called character kind of almost like chews out the kid for talking to nobody in that scene where Takeshi walks in on the kid talking to Coco. That seems like they just cut that out because they teleported back out into the infirmary. And it makes Takeshi look really mean from this perspective. And I always had to have an explanation in my head for that, a headcanon, and that is just that was what Ryogo's perception of what Takeshi, his memory of what Takeshi was like was, right? And how over the years, his memory of Takeshi evolved would be kind of like Takeshi being meaner than he actually was. Or he's just not a perfect actor, that or one or the other. On the other side of the door, Takeshi peeked out. Oh, maybe they haven't done it yet. Maybe they don't. Maybe they do have him chew him out. Let's see. Takeshi, perfect timing. Looks like this girl wasn't able to escape either.
女の子
Girl?
女の子なんて。
This is weird. You're hearing the voice acting, but I'm actually not because my computer decided to do weird things with my audio again. Yeah, there is a girl.
いないじゃないか。
There I go. She's not here. Eh? I hastily return my gaze. There was no one there. Up until now, the girl sitting there had vanished without a trace. No way.
おいおい、やめてくれよ。記憶喪失の次は幻覚か
Hey, don't do that. After amnesia, are you Okay, overdub time.
かなり重症みたいだな。
Guess looks like it's pretty serious. Okay, they're arguing. No, it's not a hallucination. There was a girl. She was sitting on this bed.
なあ、少年。落ち着いて考えるんだ。
Hey, young man, calm down and think about it.
この部屋にすぐ隠れられるような場所なんてあるのか
Is there a place in this room where you can hide right away?
トイレとか非常用のハッチは入り口の方だから、俺が気づかないわけがない。
The toilet and emergency hatch are near the entrance, and there's no way I wouldn't notice. There's no...
あるとすれば、せいぜいベッドの下くらいだろ
If there is one, it's under the bed at most. Because I looked under the bed, right? Yeah, but there was no one there.
気が済んだらさっさと寝ろよ。まだまだ先は長いんだから。
If you're satisfied, go to sleep already. There's still a long way to go. Now, I'm stalling and not hitting translate on this switch. It might mean that I'm commenting on something. Probably that Takeshi was just... Oh, with that, Takeshi left the room. Okay. Was being nicer than I remember from the original. Where the original, it just kind of screams at the kid. Like, what's wrong with you? I sat down on the bed and looked at the bed where the girl was sitting. The sound of a scream, stirring up anxiety and a cloud of wood in my ears. Okay, so I probably stuck this into Google Translate at the time because that looked weird to me. But I can't remember exactly what Google Translate came up with. It's unlikely that it could come up with anything better. Okay. Spitting out, when did I fall asleep? Which I guess I was satisfied with at the time. I was lying on the bed. Okay, yeah, bedo no ue de. I get up and sit back down on the bed. Interesting. Makes sense if you have an up And then... So he does get up. It is the right kanji, so I guess I was satisfied with that. I would assume I was. Quiet breathing dominated the area. I didn't think at the time that her was part of the original line. I think that would just be the offline translator inserting a pronoun, because Japanese you oftentimes leaves them out. I look around the room at the people that are sleeping. I saw Sara, you, and Takeshi sleeping. Apologize that the overdub is not synced well. I think the overdub and the I can't see Tsugumi or Sora. The overdub and the original video are off by about 3/4 of a second. I don't know which way though. The rest of the empty bed showed no signs of people. The rest of the empty beds showed no signs that people had used them. Basically, no signs of use. Even the bed where that girl, referring to Coco, was sitting. The sound echoes in my ears again. Is this the sound of wood, as it was said from earlier? That sound signaling the end of time. Interesting. Okay, same line again. Oh. I think what happened there is I pasted. So I did actually put that sound of wood line into Google Translate, so that was on my... And then I accidentally copied it instead of pasting in the sound signaling the end of time. And so it ended up back in my box. And then here I'm trying to make sure that those two kanji mean time for some reason. So yeah, I did put that whole wood thing into Google Translate. However, because I've lost the original voice audio for this, I don't know what it came out what I come up with. I could OCR the video, but I'm too lazy to do something like that. And here I'm probably commenting on. I know that my result here was that the sound signaling the end of time is the best I can do with this line. There wasn't actually a better translation for this line, but I was probably saying a bunch of words about trying to find a better translation for this line. One of the kanji that gets messed up a lot is meaning like darkness or shadow, so that might have something to do with the wood. But in the middle of the thin room, the light from the light-emitting diode clock near the entrance shone awfully brightly. Interesting that it's a LED instead of a LCD. But I noticed at the time that diode was written out in katakana. So those two kanji before that katakana block were probably meaning... Oh yeah, I'm pointing it out now on the... Well, it might be out of sync, but in the video I'm highlighting the katakana that make up diode. Probably are light emitting, and then diode is written out in katakana. So they don't actually write LED. That's 23 hours, 59 minutes. That's basically just 1 minute before midnight. They don't write out LED in Japanese. They say light emitting with kanji followed by diode written out in katakana. They're way more verbose, which is odd. I would expect them to just use the acronym. I wonder what I'm stalling here talking about. I lost all this commentary, so... I mean, there wasn't very much to talk about at the time. It's 24-hour time. Okay, see you tomorrow in that. Tomorrow will come soon. Yeah, in 1 minute. And I try to, pronounce it right. Musugu ashita ga kiru. I think I tried to read it. That's what's taking so long. Yeah, mosugu ashita ga kiru. Today to wa different tomorrow. I think I might have said that tomorrow will be different than today. Might be a better way to read this. Although it is kind of interesting why the offline translator does that awkward structure. And I forgot if I actually put it into Google Translate or not. Okay, so the title card. I guess it's 170 hours until collapse. Again, this is the remake, so it's collapse instead of implosion. And then that probably gets adjusted later. It's probably based on the old prediction. Okay, I got a Boku no. Oh. Yeah, this is... So, I believe this is... There is a darkness next to me. Or there is a shadow next to me. Is how this comes out. I'm going to take Google Translate and put in darkness and see if I can get that kanji. But I'm sitting here at this place for a long time because I'm struggling. Darkness in English, Japanese. Yes, you do see that kanji if you translate darkness, although it's the second kanji in darkness. The pause felt like that's probably not pause. The darkness, right? Felt like anxiety and fear itself. And again, I was struggling here because it was the wrong kanji, right? I couldn't figure out that it meant darkness. I don't actually figure that out until later. What's shadow look like in kanji? That's what it looked like. Yeah, that darkness looks like anxiety. Shadow is a different kanji. Okay. Looked like anxiety and fear. That's what it looked like. The shadow, or the darkness, slowly approached me, trying to show me the source of my anxiety and fear. Kind of interesting that, what's the character from Remember 11? Satoru would describe Blinkwinkle as, this is really spoilery, but maybe Blinkwinkle is not something you would have to worry about until you play Remember 11. As like a darkness approach, as like some sort of shadow or some sort of darkness, right? But then we know that Satoru had an erroneously low opinion that moment at that time. Okay, got the snoring sound. Satoru had a low opinion, or like a kind of a erroneously low opinion of Blinkwinkle, and thought that Blinkwinkle was like a murderer. But then there are violent video games, so it might have been kind of right. I didn't bother to say what you said there. I heard a voice like that from somewhere, like that voice actor just said. The darkness splits and the light shines in. That's what happens when he wakes up. With a feeling of vague disconnect, I awoke. And then I somehow talk about waking up. I sit here and comment about waking up or something. I guess. What would I say about a vague disconnect? With a vague feeling of vague disconnect, I awoke. I mean, it's not a very interesting line, is it? But obviously I'm doing a lot of commentating about it. The awkwardness of this overdub. Probably has something to do with how difficult it is for me to wake up. Which I don't know why I would reveal that kind of not sensitive information about myself voluntarily. Okay, come on. You hit translate again without going to the next line. I mean, I see why you want to paste this into Google Translate, because you want to just use a text editor in general or something. Although Notepad's not the best because it doesn't have like all the kanji, just so you can get rid of all the junk. But we haven't moved to the next line yet. Okay. Come on. I'm probably waiting for the translator to translate. Up, and then I have to paste this into Google Translate because I don't have the second part. So the first part is, where is this place? And I lost what the second part means. Oh, that's right. We're in Lemu in the ocean. See, the second part isn't really important, is it? Right? It's probably like these are unfamiliar surroundings.
先輩、朝っぱらからうるさいですよ。
This is Sarah saying, Senpai, you're so noisy this early in the morning, right? Yeah, Senpai, you're so noisy so early in the morning. And then it just suddenly turns to Senpai! It's like, I got it, and then I'm just gonna retract my answer and replace it with a bad one. When I turned my head in the direction of the voice, I saw Sarah, half asleep.
うるさいのは私じゃなくて、このバカよ。
I'm not the one who's noisy, it's this baka. But you're the one who woke Sarah up. Like, you is such a... They make you so unlikable. As she spoke, you delivered a kick to Takeshi's bed. The kid says, "What's wrong?" Oh no, I had to put this into Google Translate and I forgot what happened. I was basically told you, like, I wondered what the fuss was about when I heard it.
必ず
Because it's basically a when I heard it thing going on with those characters.
必ず助ける
So I am waiting for you, and then I'll save you no matter what. Probably referring to the children, if I were to guess. Sarah and the kid. Takeshi's sleep-talking echoed through the cramped room.
ああ、もううるさいな。おかげで朝の目覚めが最悪よ。
Oh, geez, shut up. Thanks to you, I can't wake up in the morning at all. Or something. Well, I probably threw that in Google Translate because that just sounds weird, and I don't know what I got. So useless. I mean, you get the gist, right? In the worst case scenario, Takeshi would be sleeping soundly with a happy look on his face. How is that the worst case scenario? That's like the best case. Oh.
それにしてもどんな夢を見てるんだろうね。
That just is the scenario. Anyway. Still, I wonder what kind of dream he's having, says Sarah. The kid says, Saw.
大方、いやらしい夢でも見てるんでしょうよ。この変態は。
And then you, of course, always assumes the worst. He's probably having a nasty dream. This hentai. Spelled out in capital letters and Romanized. Like, they didn't have to Romanize that. Continuing on, I guess. You reached for Takeshi's face and pinched his cheek. I guess Japanese needs capital letters so they can, you know, express that all caps emotion. It looks like you still holding a grudge against Takeshi rummaging through her bag from last night. I mean, they could just write it all in katakana. That kind of has some effect, but not like, it doesn't have quite the same effect as just like hitting the caps lock. I don't know what I was talking about here. I'm pausing a lot on this line. I mean, it's not, maybe something about like how much I dislike people who get mad at you for everything you do. Like, it seems like you can do nothing right in their eyes.
You
If they're mad about one thing. He starts saying, you... Well, come on, move to the next line. G-litter? Yep, moving to these lines. Keep going. Keep going, sir. It looks like he's talking in his sleep, says the kid very observantly. It's like, you has not already been commenting on that for several lines. I don't know what I'm saying about this line. I'm pausing here a lot. You know, if I had face cam, just privately, like I don't do face cam and publish it, but maybe I should do it like, just like...
まさかこの人ナッキュ先輩の夢を
just for myself. So if I should do something like this, I can read my own lips. Could this person... It literally is this person be dreaming of Nakyu senpai? Yeah, it is Kono Hito.
やめてよねそんな演技でもない
Stop it. That is not good luck. I don't think I tried that again.
You.
こらクラナリ勝手に人を夢の中に出すんじゃ
And he saves himself eventually. Hey, Kuranari, don't just let people into your dreams. Because he makes it into an insult. So they would think that would be less bad, but you still doesn't like him. There was like an RNG thing in this in the original where the Takeshi character would say different things in his sleep, like different times you played the game. But based on the way this dialogue goes, it seems like there isn't an RNG here at the remake, but I haven't played this multiple times, so I don't know. I probably just put this into Google Translate for some reason because I'm stalling a lot here. I don't know why.
Again, 名前。親の顔が見てみてよ。
Someone had to voice act like that, those saliva noises. Something about I want to see your parents' faces. Is that like I want to report to your mother what you've done? I probably plugged this into Google Translate because it looked weird, but I don't know like what? Or it could be I want to like meet your parents, as in like I want to date you.
言うのバカ野郎
You is an idiot. I think it came out in Google Translate, it came out idiot bastard. So Google Translate came up with here. And then I made this, said a whole bunch of random stuff about like what those kanji mean, and because I wasn't sure if they would translate to bastard literally. And then I accidentally looked at the dictionary thing entry for bastard. It's like, yeah, but then I wait a second. I put the English word in, not the Japanese. And those two kanji that follow baka there, they actually seem to mean in Japanese something like a brat. Like it's like a misbehaving kid. So, yeah, maybe like brat would be, although brat's usually typically used to describe men or boys if it's used as an insult. Girls less if it's used as an insult. Then, anyway. What do you call, and it was a negative connotation, a female brat? A bratis? But anyway, it's like an idiot rascal or idiot scoundrel, something like that. Of course, it's taking me a while. Come on. This is so awkward. I mean, I remember what I was talking about here. It's just that doesn't even help me because I can say it so much faster the second time. I'm not experiencing it.
ちょっと倉なりあんた、起きなさいよ
It's like, wait, Kurinari. What are you saying? For some reason, I can't get it to translate. Okay, I got it to... Okay. I guess it's... She's yelling, wake up at him. You grab Takeshi by the collar with all her might. Come on. It felt like that it probably would be it. Or maybe it is I felt like Takeshi would never wake up again if I left him like this.
落ち着いて先輩ただの寝言なんだから
Calm down, Senpai. He's just sleep talking. Yeah, but the words that you sleep talk have to come from somewhere. That's right, he doesn't mean anything bad by it. But he would have to be thinking it in order for it to, like, come out in his sleep, though. Tabun. Which means probably. Come on. Takeshi doesn't even know what we were worried about. He's still sleeping with a smile on his face. Or he could be pretending to sleep.
もう頭きたかくなる上は
Remember, he's acting, so he might be pretending to be asleep and not really be. Geez, I'm so mad. Now that it's come to this. Well, what are you gonna do?
今回は BGM ははしょるけどこれよ
This is a weird line. This time the background music will be... this is it. I don't know what this expression means. Like, it is indeed background music. But, like, is she saying, like, boss music or something Japanese people would know. As you said that, she held a pin in her hand.
にひまさかそれで
No way. That is... You probably know why in there.
そのまさかよ
Like, that is exactly what I mean.
寝首をバッサリナッキ先輩大胆ですね
Not you, senpai. You're so tight on.
するかっていうかできは
It's tight on is bold. Borrowed from some other language.
いいつまりこうするってことよ
It's like, I can't do it. You says, good. In other words, this is what we're doing. Oh, sorry, but I thought she was going to do something else with the pin. At a vivid speed, on Takeshi's eyelids, a pair of sparkling eyes, like something out of a shoujo manga, were drawn. Nice indirect voice translator. apologize for the chair noise.
天罰てきめん、お前の悪事を数えろってね。
I have a hard time capturing this, apparently. Punishment from heaven, count your evil deeds. Which kind of makes sense. I mean, that first kanji right there is heaven. That's what that means, so. Then the kid starts laughing.
面白そう。ナキ先輩、私にもやらせて。
It's like, wow, that's interesting. Nakyu-senpai, let me do it too. Then Sara drew vortices on each of Takeshi's cheeks.
ニンニン。
Okay, what does the kid say? My stomach hurts.
ほら、少年もこのアホに何か書いてやったら胸がスーッとするよ。
Why don't you draw something on this idiot too? Probably something that suits you. There's no chest in there. The chest comes from raw. Just draw something suitable. I mean, it does say soot. I probably threw it into Google Translate. That's what's taking so long. Okay, yeah, you're right. And there's two ums, and then I drew the kanji for I on his forehead. And I probably, like, did some commentating on that. It's Takeshi's third eye. Probably foreshadowing. Oh, and then what I'm doing here is I'm trying to figure out if the kanji for Takeshi, like, that has some meaning to it, that has something to do with third eye, and it doesn't. But I keep spend a bunch of time messing around with that right here. I mean, it's third eye because it's Mitsu, and then I forgot how you say I. No Takeshi da. The third eye of Takeshi. It's kind of backwards, isn't it? It's like. No, yeah. Yeah, because what possesses it goes before what it possesses, right? Interesting. The three of us scribbled on Takeshi's face in turn. A few minutes later,
うわー。
the kid said, "Wait, this is too much." There's a gruesome, ominous object there, indescribable, with a puffed up nose. I guess.
きりした。
Ah, I feel better. It's more like, I like it. In contrast to Takeshi, you smiled breezily. Well, Takeshi, I thought was smiling. It just looks weird now. After playing with Takeshi's face a lot, I and the others moved to the break room. Just as I was sitting in my chair, Sora appeared.
おはようございます、皆さん。
She says, "Good morning, everyone."
ゆうべはぐっすりお休みになられましたか？
Did you get a good night's sleep last night?
おかげさまでバッチリと眠れたのはいいんだけど、目覚めは最悪だったわ。
You says, "Thanks to you, I was able to get a good night's sleep. But my waking up was terrible."
え、それはどういうことですか？何か問題でもありましたか？
What do you mean by that? Was there a problem?
大問題だったけど、この魔法のサインペンでキュキュッと解決したからもう大丈夫。
There was a big problem, but with this magic signature pen, it was solved. So it's fine now.
鏡を見たあいつが地獄に震える姿が目に浮かぶわ。
I can see him trembling in shame when he looks in the mirror. Which he won't. Because the mirror's broken. That's probably what I'm saying here.
でもナッキ先輩、トイレとかの鏡って割れてて使えませんでしたよ。男子の方は分かりませんけど。
What am I saying here? But Naku-senpai, the mirror in the bathroom was broken, so I couldn't use it. I don't know about the boys, but...
あっちゃー、そうだっけ。少年、男子トイレの鏡ってどうだった？
It's the one in the men's bath. The women's bathroom doesn't need to be broken, though. That's funny. Oh, I see. Kid, how was the mirror in the men's bathroom? He says it was broken too, right? Because the kid can't be able to see his reflection. Or he just didn't look at it. I think it's so cracked that I couldn't see anything in it at all. When I washed my face in the bathroom wash basin in the morning, the mirror was broken, if I recall correctly, and I could only vaguely see my face.
まあいいか。間抜けな自分の顔に気づかないで、それを晒し続けるってのも放置プレイで面白そうだしね。
Well, whatever. It'll be fun to keep exposing a stupid face without him noticing it. It'll be fun just to leave it be. Except when she doesn't. Wait, spoilers for this episode. Yu grins as she says that. Come on. I. Boku wa, that's I. I felt like I had seen a demon for a moment. Probably pronounced Oni.
はい、ナッキ先輩。
Okay, that's just yes, Naku senpai. Sara held out some vegetable juice as breakfast. What am I talking about with vegetable V8s?
サンキューマヨ。
Just thank you, Mayo.
はい、少年も。
Yes, the kid also. The kid says thank you. And then I took the bottle of orange juice from Sara. Yeah, I guess they're saying that she likes the kid better or something, because the kid gets the orange juice and you gets the V8. Although maybe you likes those, I don't know. I mean, I do too. I just prefer an orange juice, right? V8s are still good. For some reason, I couldn't help but be a little nervous. Then again, drinking tomato juice out of aluminum can seems kind of like dangerous. Because it will like dissolve it.
それでこれからどうしますナッキ先輩。
Maybe they're all coated somehow. So, what should we do now, Nakyu?
そうね。さすがに朝食にジュースだけってのもね。救護室にはブドウ糖くらいしかないし。
Yeah, it's not surprising that it's just juice for breakfast. The only thing in the infirmary is glucose. And it said something about imagine like drinking the glucola because you didn't have anything else you could possibly eat or drink. And then I said something about how I've never actually drinking glucola because I think you can only get it by prescription legally. And only if your doctor orders a glucose tolerance test on you, which is a test for diabetes. And then it probably said something like, I will probably never actually get a test for diabetes because diabetes, type 1 diabetes is like a congenital thing, right? But I don't have it. Type 2 tends to trigger if you get overweight. And it's very difficult for me to get overweight or just get so much interstitial fat that I start getting such low insulin sensitivity that I'll get type 2 diabetes. Or you can get gestational diabetes when you're pregnant, but I'm a man, and so I'm never going to get pregnant. So, from all those things, it's very unlikely I'd ever have to take a diabetes test, which would be very unlikely that I'd actually get to drink the glucola. That being said, I'm very curious what that tastes like. I guess, can't you make your own? Just like boil some water, just get water really hot. Try to dissolve as much sugar as you can in there and try to make a super solution of sugar. Like, yeah, you can get close. It's not exactly that because if you put table sugar in, it's sucrose, which is a glucose bound to a fructose, as opposed to just glucose by itself.
空腹が問題になる前に動いた方がいいかな。
Should we move before our hunger becomes a problem?
ねえソラ、排水ってもう終わったの？
Which is, hey Sora, are you done with the drainage? Draining the passage?
はい、間もなく完了します。
Yes, it will be completed soon.
それじゃあマヨ、あのバカを起こしに行ってくれない？
It's like, how soon is soon? Then Mayo, could you go wake up the, that baka?
御意でござる。
As you wish. She's gonna go in the hallway and meet him halfway, of course. Sara replied energetically, then left through the door with light movements. That's right. Oh, is Tsugumi okay? I'll have to call Tsugumi too. Yeah.
そうね、つぐみがいたわね。それにしてもどこで何やってんだろうあの子。昨べ減圧室には来なかったみたいだけど、こんな時なんだから単独行動は危険なのに。
Yeah, but Tsugumi is E, which could be just like good. Would Tsugumi be good also? So I don't know if that's interpreting as is she okay or will it be good to call her as well. Yeah, Tsugumi is also here. Anyway, where is she and what is she doing? She didn't come to the decompression chamber last night. It's dangerous to act alone at a time like this. I don't know what I'm saying here, but I'm pausing here a lot. I'm probably speculating about what Tsugumi was doing. or something. I don't know what I said. Tsugumi left the room yesterday. Ryan indicated was the last person that she talked to. I don't know why, but Tsugumi seems to hate us.
ねえ、もういい加減そういうのやめてほしいんだけど。
Okay, it flashes back to, hey, I wish you wouldn't do that anymore, referring to...
あなただって、みんな分かってやっているんでしょ
referring to calling to her for something. You know what you all are doing, right? Be like, anata. Well, using the rude second person pronouns. What did Tsugumi think I knew? Will I know the answer to that once I get my memories back? No, and I say, no, you won't, because you think you would know what Tsugumi thinks you do. No, but you actually don't know that.
生体サーチシステムでの自動追尾はいつでも可能ですが。
It's possible to track her down automatically with the biosearch system at any time.
ライブカメラで視覚的に追うこともできますが。
I can follow her visually with a live camera. Another conjunction.
そうか、その手があったわね。
I have a hard time translating that. Is that so? Then that's the plan.
おはよう
Because she says hello, or good morning, actually. But like short, it's like good more. That was when Takeshi appeared in the break room.
やっと間抜け面が起きてきた。
Finally. Stupid finally appeared. Something like that. Stupid finally came. For some reason, I didn't do anything with that. But I don't know what it meant. What? I was curious about Takeshi's face, so I tried to look at him. Apparently can't see through Sora, though. But when I turned around, Sora overlapped, and I couldn't see Takeshi's face. Sora got, like, in front of him in the kid's field of view. And apparently can't see through Sora. I mean, if you could, then Takeshi and the kid would have identified her as a something not real way earlier than they did.
おはようございます。
Yeah, it's good morning.
そういえば空昨日の夜加減圧室にいなかったみたいだけどちゃんと寝られたのか
Come to think of it, Sora, you didn't reach the decompression chamber last night. Did you get enough sleep?
ええ、システムの最適化や調整に時間が十分取れましたので、調子はいいと思います。
Yes, I had plenty of time to optimize and adjust the system, so I think I'm doing well.
倉成さんはちゃんと休めたのですか？お顔が変ですが。
Kurinari-san, did you get enough sleep? You look strange.
いや大丈夫だ俺の顔はいつも朝はこんな感じなんだ
Don't worry, my face always looks like this in the morning.
そうなんですか？
Sorry, is that so? And then you just laughs. That was when you, unable to hold back her laughter, twisted her face and covered her mouth. From Yu's position, I can clearly see Takeshi. You could clearly see Takeshi's face.
ユウどうしたんだ苦しそうだが
You, what's wrong? You look like you're in pain.
ちょっと、そう、治療の補佐よ。
She says, wait, it's only a chronic seizure. Which again is odd because I don't know how this particular you would think to say that.
持病って大丈夫なのか？
Like, where did you get the idea from? What do you mean by a chronic illness? Are you okay?
いつものことだから心配しないで。
I'm fine. It's the same as always, so don't worry, okay? Again, how'd she think of this?
そうか？
Is that so?
おかしい。
Yeah, weird.
なんか言ったか？
Did I say something?
いや別に。だけどもうダメ。
Probably is did you say something, actually. No, not really, but I can't take it anymore.
私の笑い袋も心が我慢の限界よ。
This is the limit to my patience. Patience? I don't think I really did anything with it, though, because it might be like...
ユウ、大丈夫か？
You are you okay?
私が悪かったわ。蔵なりいいから早く顔を洗ってきて。
I'm sorry, Kurinari. Just hurry up and wash your face.
顔？なんでだ？
Face? What about it? Or like, why?
いいから早くとっとと行かん。
Come on, hurry up. Just get going. And she like shoves him into the bathroom. Takeshi disappeared into the bathroom, pushed by Yu's menacing expression.
あのままあの顔を見続けていたら笑いで筋肉痛になるところだったわ。
If I kept looking at that face, I would have been in pain from laughing. You already were, though. A few minutes later, Takeshi, whose face was completely lost at scribbles, returned. Hat.
さっぱりした。
Ah, I feel refreshed. Yep.
それで、つぐみはいないのか？
Tsugumi isn't here? Takeshi looked around the room and asked you.
まだ今日は顔を見てないわ。そのうちひょっこり現れるかもしれないけど。
I haven't seen her face yet today. She might appear out of nowhere before long, but...
それでさっきもそのことで空に探してもらうって話をしたんだけどね。
About that earlier. We talked about Sora looking for her. Having Sora look for her.
そういえば蔵なりマヨと一緒じゃなかったの？どこかの間抜け面を起こしに行ったきりなんだけど。
Come to think of it, Kurinari, weren't you with Mayo? She went to go wake up some sloppy-looking guy.
マヨ？ああ、サラなら通路で笑い転げてたけど。
Mayo, you were looking for Sora, she was laughing in the corridor.
確かに笑い転げるわねあれは。
Yeah, that does make one laugh. Uh,
え、何？
なんでもない。
Takeshi
こっ
being
ちの
like,
ことよ。
what? And then, you, it's nothing.
そうか？さてと、朝食代わりに何か飲むかな。多少の腹の足しにはなるか。
So like, it's nothing worth mentioning. Really, now that I wonder if I'll have something to drink for breakfast, or if I'm or something like I'm just feeling a little hungry, right? As I watched Takeshi drink his canned coffee at the distance, I suddenly realized something. It's strange that Sara hasn't come back yet.
まだ笑い転げているってこともないか。どうしちゃったんだろ
She's still laughing, isn't she? Question, I wonder what's wrong.
う。だけど少年、そんなにマヨのことが気になるの？
But are you worried about Mayo, young man? Eh? I'm curious. There was definitely a faint image of Sara in my memories before I lost them. No, not that I'm curious, it's just... Yu's face approaches mine as if she's peering into a gap in a Koto Kura's book. And where she's like doing that visual read your mind pose. And I probably pasted this into Google Translate and got nothing more useful out of it. That's why it's stalling so much. Something to note, though, is that I think the first two kanji in this mean word. I can't help but blush.
なるほどね。そうかそうか。みんなまで言うの。うんうん。
Yeah, I see, I see. Don't tell everyone. Yeah. You nodded as if she'd come to terms with something on her own.
よっしゃー
Takeshi's like, made some noise. That was when Takeshi, who had been conversing with Sora, suddenly raised his voice.
そうと分かれば、こんなところでもたもたしてないで、さっさと出発しようぜ。
Now that we know that, let's stop moping around, mota mota, and get going.
確かにそうだけど、もたもたしてたのってクラナリじゃない。
That's true, but it was Kuranari who was the one who was moping.
あ、いや、そうなんだけど。
Well, yeah, but...
それじゃあ少年、サラを呼んできてくれるか。そら、つぐみの場所を探してくれ。
Well then, the kid, will you go get Sara? Sora is looking for where Tsugumi is. Takeshi said that to Sora, trying to cover up Yu's retort. The kid's like, yes.
わかりました。
And Sora says, understood. I stood up from my seat and went to look for Sara. I wonder what happened to Sara. It's true that even if they say that she's ruffling, she wouldn't be ruffling this long. It's too late for just ruffling to explain it, right? Indescribable unease wells up from deep within me. While I was thinking about that, I ended up in front of the infirmary. During that time, I didn't see Sara. Huh? Where is Sara? may have noticed it wasn't Sara wa doku desu ka, right? I entered the infirmary. It was like more verbose than that, and I don't know what that does. That extra detail gives you. There was no one here. Sara wasn't there. Maybe I should take a look inside the compression chamber as well. I peer through the door. In the back of the room, I saw Sara plopped down on the bed. Without thinking, the girl I saw yesterday overlapped with Sara. I don't know how it's without thinking, but okay.
でもきっと無理ですよ。
And Sara says, but I can't do it right now.
もうどこにも出られないんですから。
I can't go anywhere anymore. Okay, at least they're the same lines that Coco said, right? But with Sara's voice actor? Obviously I'm commenting something here, I don't remember what it was. One thing I would have been wondering about, though, is whether or not the lullaby would be introduced right here. I think the only time, because this scene doesn't happen in the original game. You don't get to be alone with Sara until you go down to fix the generator, and then you return to the generator room, or else it's the pipe room. Sara, who are you talking to? At the sound of my voice, Sara turned around in surprise.
少年なんだびっくりした
Oh, kid, Oh, I accidentally hit that. Oh, this is when I realized, oh no, I messed up and hit a save. So, partway into recording this, I noticed my audio just cut out at about the 12-minute mark. And it was a software issue, not a hardware issue. Some software just died. It was filtering the noise out of my audio. So now I'm doing it without any noise filtering, so now things are hummier. But I have 1 hour of voice audio that was just completely lost. And it might go, and that's really awkward because if it just has no audio, then the only thing that you see as far as what the text actually means is what appears in my OCR box. Which may or may not have been capturing. So, I have to go back to the video and see if it was capturing that the whole time. But anyway, sometimes I'll do things like take the text, paste it to Google Translate, cut off some like mistakes in it, and then the OCR made and try to get like a better translation. All that will be lost. And I tend to say things in the gap. I tend to commentate, so to speak. And so there'll be weird gaps of silence and nothing happening in the video with no explanation as to why. So I have to basically go in, try to remember what I said the first time, and try to sort of overdub an hour's worth of audio. And opportunities to record things like this for me in this day and era of my life are few and far between and scarce. So that's terrible. That just like makes me want to spit nails. But for now, I'm going to start recording again as I'm doing and just turn off the noise filter and just keep going. And I'll deal with trying to figure out how to go back and overdub that later. Ouch. Ow. Oof. Like trying to play Ever17, not getting over it. It gave me like That's worse than the getting over it feeling. It's one of those things to add to that like opening line of getting it over it, where you delete all your progress on your report and you have to start over. You play do a let's play of a visual novel in which you have to machine translate the visual novel because it's a language you don't understand, and you lose the voice audio. That's a big one. Ouch. Wait, I just saved instead of loaded. It's fine, I saved the same thing at the same place, but okay. Oof. So he's talking to Sarah he found Sarah in the decompression chamber. He's talking to that kid. What? You surprised me. Who are you talking to? Like the symmetry there.
携帯よ携帯
Oh, it's calling the cell phone.
どこかとつながるかと思って試したんだけど全然ダメで
But don't cell phones not work? I thought it might connect to somewhere, so I tried, but it didn't work at all.
なんか悔しかったから誰かと会話しているように話していたのよ
It was kind of frustrating, so I was talking like I was having a conversation with someone. Nice made-up story. Saying that, Sarah put her phone in her bag. Is that really true?
少年に変なとこ見られちゃったねこのことはみんなには内緒にしてね恥ずかしいから
The kid who saw something weird. Keep this secret from everyone, okay? It's embarrassing. There's no who in there. I misspoke. Yeah, okay.
それで少年は何しに来たの
So, why did the boy come here? Yeah. For what did the boy come here? Yeah, that's right. It looks like we're about to leave. That's why I came to get Sarah.
そうなんだありがとうじゃあ急いで戻らないとね
I see. Thank you. Then I'll have to hurry back. Was that Sarah started walking? On the way back, I saw Sarah from behind. And what does Google Translate have to say here? Wrong kanji. Thinner or thicker? Nope. Okay. We don't know what's going on, but he saw her from behind. It kind of looks like the kanji for, like, cheap. Right, that Yasui kanji, but then the one right after it, I don't know. I've been able to find Sarah, but just like the girl yesterday, she didn't disappear like she was an illusion. Huh? I guess it's I called her.
何？もう出発するの？
What, are we leaving already?
おう、ご飯を食べに行くぞ。
Yeah, let's eat.
あれ？顔が。
Okay, I'm gonna put that back in the tray, because there's a go to it, isn't there? Let's go eat. Huh? Your face.
俺の顔がどうかしたか？男前の顔だなって気づいたか？
What's wrong with my face? Did you notice that I look handsome?
し
You gestured for Sara by putting her index finger in front of her mouth so Takeshi wouldn't notice.
こちらの勘違いでした。でも今朝の顔の方が男前でしたよ。
I misunderstood, but this morning's face was more handsome.
そうかそうか。
I see, I see. Takeshi nodded in satisfaction.
今朝の顔の方？
The face this morning. And just then, at that time, the walls and ceiling tremble slightly, making a creaking sound. The lights in the room began to flicker uneasily.
地震じゃないよね。
It's not an earthquake, is it?
あ、
That's what Sara said.
何？
You was like, what? The dark room attacked me, and in that moment I thought I saw something. The darkness fell on me. At that moment I thought I saw something. It's anxiety again. I could see fear and anxiety. And I go, wah! Probably I'm scared. Let me out of here. There's no way that kanji's gonna work out right. I mean, no hope for it, so it's gonna assume scared.
落ち着け少年。ただの停電だ。大丈夫だ。
Calm down, young man. It's just a blackout. It's okay. Takeshi hugged me. I was trembling inside Takeshi. At that moment, I felt someone stroke my forehead. My heart is calming down.
みんな落ち着いて。すぐ明かりが。
Everyone calm down. The lights will turn back on right away, or something like that. Oh, that card is used for right away. Interesting. The lights will come on soon. The emergency lights, that is. Before you can finish your sentence, the emergency lights turn on. I regained my composure in Takeshi's arms.
今度は何が起きたんだ？
What happened this time?
空いる？ちょっと来てくれない？現状報告お願い。空。
Sora, could you come here? A bit? Please report the current situation. Sora. Sora went to check where Tsugumi was, and it looked like she hadn't given in yet. Oh. She hadn't come back yet, right? Yeah, Sora had gone to check out where Tsugumi was and hasn't returned yet. You called out to Sora, but Sora didn't appear. Even if you call from a place like this, can Sora hear you?
やっぱりダメか。どうしよう。つぐみも戻らないし。
So it's no good after all. What should I do? Tsugumi won't come back.
多分大丈夫だとは思うけど。みんな、念のため、救護室に避難しましょう。
I think it'll probably be fine, but everyone, let's take refuge in the infirmary just in case. We started moving towards the infirmary. Now, in the Takeshi side, Tsugumi goes to the control room. Tsugumi goes to the control room. She might do that here, but when we encounter her, she might just say, okay, this is what you do. I'm not going to help you this time, but if you really, truly don't know what to do, this is what you do. We'll see if that happens. But Takeshi didn't move.
倉成何ぼさっとしてるのよ。とりあえず避難するわよ。
It's like, nope, I have to go to the control room because I got to follow the script. Karanari, why are you spacing out? Anyway, let's evacuate, or let's leave.
ユウ、先に行っててくれ。俺が空とつぐみを連れてくるよ。
You go on ahead. I'll bring Sora and Tsugumi.
なあ、少年。お前は男だろ？
Hey, kid. You're a man, aren't you? Takeshi looked at me and said that.
だから、お前にお願いするぞ、少年。いいか？何かあったら、男のお前がみんなを守るんだぞ。
That's why I'm counting on you, boy. Okay, if anything happens, you're the man who'll protect everyone. It's dialogue. I looked away from Takeshi and at Sara and the others. Then I returned my gaze to Takeshi.
よし。
All right then. Takeshi lightly placed his hand on my forehead and dashed out of the room. After that, the three of us headed to the infirmary.
振動があって、それから停電しちゃったけど、大丈夫なのかな？
There was a vibration, and then the power went off. I wonder if it'll be okay.
そうね。救助隊がすぐに来てくれるってのんびりしてたけど、どうやらそうも言っていられないみたいね。
Yeah, we were taking it easy, saying that the rescue team would be here soon, but it looks like we can't say that. There will not be help. He just blurts that out. How you know? The words that came out of my mouth naturally filled me with anxiety.
ごめん、不安にさせちゃった。大丈夫よ。停電だってきっと治るし、それにドリッドシュトックまで行けばクジラの潜水艇で脱出できるんだから心配はないわ。
Sorry, did I make you worry? Don't worry, I'm sure the blackout will be fixed. Besides, if we go to Drite Stock, we can escape by the whale submersible, so there's no need to worry. But Yu's words didn't reach my ears. Because I remembered what the girl said yesterday.
でもきっと無理だよ。
But I'm sure it is impossible.
もうどこにも出られないんだ。
I can't get out of here anymore. I can't get out of here. What was that girl saying? I wonder if it's about myself. Or all of us. Maybe it could just could be translated herself. Huh? Sarah suddenly stopped. And she did not compare her this time. She actually stopped. The OCR actually worked. Her face looked like her eyes were wide open in surprise. Oh, so they're going to encounter Tsugumi on this side. Tsugumi's going to go a different place than the control room. Sarah looked in the direction of her. When I looked in the direction of Sarah's gaze, I saw Tsugumi. Takeshi seems to have gone looking in the opposite direction. Tsugumi, are you okay?
たかが停電ぐらいで無事も何もないでしょ。
It's just a blackout, so there's nothing to worry about, especially for me.
念のため救護室に避難するんだけど、つぐみも一緒に来てくれるでしょ。
Just in case, we're going to take refuge in the infirmary. Tsugumi, you're coming with me, right?
あいにくだけど、その手には乗らないから。
Unfortunately, I won't fall for that.
私は行かない。
I'm not going.
行きたいなら勝手にどうぞ。
If you want to go, go ahead. Wait, Tsugumi. Tsugumi silently tried to walk past us.
これもあなたの仕業？
Is this your doing, too? Now that is weird. Sarah said that to Tsugumi. Did you cause this blackout? When Tsugumi passed by Sarah, she gave Tsugumi a scary look.
何のこと？私は何も関係ないわ。
What are you talking about? I have nothing to do with this.
それに、関係があるとすればそっちでしょ。
What, does Sarah think Tsugumi, works for Lieblich or something? It's weird. And if there's anybody who has anything to do with it, it's you. Okay, Google Translate is actually worse. So I'm just going to leave it there. And with that, Tsugumi left. Once we were in the infirmary, we sit down on in the chairs, like that are scattered throughout. We sat down in the nearby chairs. Okay. Shikaku no chair.
つぐ
No,
みにはほんと困ったもんね。何を警戒しているのかしら。
maybe Chikaku no isu. Okay. Tsugumi really is a problem. I wonder what she's wary of.
そういえばマヨ、あなたつぐみと何か話をしてたみたいだけど、何を話していたの？
By the way, Maya, you seem to be talking to Tsugumi about something. What were you talking about? From where you is, it seems she couldn't hear what they were talking about. Whoops. Or from where you was, it seems like she couldn't hear what they were talking about.
あれですか？あれはただの挨拶ですよ、ナッキュ先輩。
Is that it? That was just a greeting, Nakyu. Huh? That was just a greeting? She was accusing Tsugumi of causing a blackout based on the precedent that she thought that Tsugumi already did something else. I didn't really get it.
ああ、そうだ。そういえば、ナッキュ先輩、さっきのんびりしてられないとか言ってましたけど、それってどういう意味ですか？
New Sara sprite pose. Oh, that's right. By the way, Nakyu-senpai, you said we couldn't take it easy earlier. What do you mean by that?
ああ、それはね、停電してるってことは、環境維持もおざなりになるから、徐々に室温が下がるかもってことよ。海の中って結構寒いから。
Yeah, if there's a blackout, that means the room temperature might gradually drop since it's too much to maintain the environment. It's pretty cold in the ocean.
それにここの空気って熱伝導率の高いヘリウムガスも多いからすぐ寒くなるのよ。
Besides, the air here has a lot of helium gas due to its high heat conductivity. So it gets cold pretty quickly, you know. Has a lot of helium gas, and due to its high heat conductivity, it gets cold pretty quickly. You wouldn't think they would. Maybe they would do it so they could heat up faster, but the thing is that they want everything in steady state. And you get more of a steady state if you have something with lower heat conductivity. You'll get that, like, you don't have to put as many heating elements scattered around, all right? So it probably doesn't read like that. It probably reads, due to helium having a high heat conductivity, it gets fast pretty quick. In the back of my mind, everyone's frozen forms came to mind. Is that hard? Is that a big deal?
その点については心配しないで。考えがあるから。
Don't worry about it. I have an idea.
考え？
Idea?
発電室に行ってみようと思って。
I thought I'd go to the generator room.
発電室？
The generator room?
この停電の原因は発電機のトラブルにあると思うの。そこに行けば停電は直せると思うわ。
I think the cause of this drop in electricity is trouble with the generator. If we go there, I think we can fix the blackout.
ナキ先輩、その発電室っていうのはどこにあるんですか？
Realize you can confirm this in the control room. That's what Tsugumi does. She goes straight for the control room. Nakyu-senpai, where is the generator room?
発電室はここから一番下の3層目、ドリットシュトックにあるの。
The generator room is on Dritte stock on the third level at the bottom of this place.
よーし、それでは早速行こうではないか、皆の衆。
Okay, let's get going, everyone. Takeshi just appeared. Where are we going, Takeshi? I presume he talked to Tsugumi, and Tsugumi's like, go to the generator room, you dumb butt. So suddenly, an energetic voice echoes through the room. When I looked, Takeshi was standing near the entrance.
ちょっと倉成、あんたいつ入ってきたのよ。
Kurenari, you came.
今だけど、いや結局、空もつぐみも見つかんなくて。
No, in the end, I couldn't find Sora or Tsugumi. Oh, so he didn't talk to
そりゃ
Tsugumi.
そうでしょう。空はともかく、つぐみには途中で会ったから。あんたは途中でつぐみとすれ違わなかったの？
Well, of course, Sora aside, I met Tsugumi on the way. Didn't you pass Tsugumi along the way?
いや、全然会わなかったけど。
No, I didn't see her at all. And it might be he did, he's just lying.
それより修理に行くんだろ。早速行こうぜ。
More importantly, you're going to fix it, aren't you? Let's go right away. Why would he think you would do this? Because she doesn't do this in what he would remember. Saying that, Takeshi turned to leave the room.
ちょっと倉成、どこ行くつもりなのよ。
Wait, Kurenari, where are you going?
どこって発電室に行くんだろ。お前が言ったんじゃんか。
Where? You're going to the generator room, right? Didn't you say so yourself?
それであんたはどうやって行くつもりなの？
So, how do you plan to get there?
そりゃ通路を歩いていくに決まってるじゃないか。
Of course, I'm going to walk down the corridor.
やれやれ。さっぱり分かってないんじゃない。
Oh dear, you don't get it at all.
それってどういう意味だ？
What do you mean by that? How would you know, like, which areas are flooded and stuff? I don't really get it, but...
私も。
Me neither.
みんな、昨日見たレミューのマップ、覚えてないの？
Don't you remember the Lumu map we saw yesterday?
マップ？マップね。
How would they remember this?
確か3層目のマップは、エリアが2つに分断されていましたよね。
As far as I know, the map didn't actually show that detail of information, like that the generator's room specifically was cut off from the rest of Dritte stock. Let's see, if I remember correctly, the third floor on the map was divided into two areas, right? Come to think of it.
ね、倉成も思い出せた？
So do you remember too, Kurenari?
バッチリとまではいかないけど、ある程度は。
I won't go so far as to call it patchy, but to a certain extent. I can't say it's perfect, but to a certain extent.
じゃあ、その2つのエリアの間には何があったかな？
Then what happened to... Okay. Oh, wrong thing. Hold on. So what was between those two areas? Or well, then what was between those two areas?
何がって言われてもな。
Well, what do you mean? If I'm not mistaken, I don't think anything happened.
そう。ということは
Does that mean? The two areas are divided by submerged blocks? I presume.
だから
That's why.
だから発電室のあるエリアへは直接移動することができないってことですね。
That's why you can't move directly to the area where the generator room is located. Besides, I feel like the emergency stairs in the other area are submerged. Let's see. I think the emergency stairs in the other area were submerged. You mean the ones are surrounding the generator?
となると
Oh, goodness. So then...
ああ、そういうことか。
So that's how it is.
発電室のあるエリアに降りるには、
To get down to the area where the generator room is located,
中性浮力式エレベーターを利用する以外、方法はないってわけだ。
there's no other way than to use the neutral buoyancy elevator.
はい、正解。そう。だから私たちが向かわなければならないのは
Yes, that's correct. That's right. That's why we have to go. Androgynous, that's funny. To the neutral buoyancy elevator platform.
そういうこと。じゃ、行くわよ。
That's right. Okay, let's go.
ぎょいでござるよ。にんにん。
As you wish. Need. We'll have to procure the tools for that before we go to repair it. We stop by the warehouse first. It was... What? Okay, so it was dim, probably. Oh, the lights were off. Okay. The inside was brighter than I expected thanks to the fluorescent display board.
この中から修理道具を探すのはことかしら。
I wonder if it's worth. Maybe I should look for some repair tools in here.
何を探すんですか？
What are you looking for?
そうね。まずは懐中電灯ね。それからペンチやスパナー、ドライバー。
Yeah, first a flashlight, then pliers, a spanner, and a screwdriver.
はい。
Yes. Sarah walked around the warehouse, found what she was looking for, and handed it to You.
それとハンマー、小型の溶接機なんかも欲しいわね。
Also a hammer. And a small welder.
はいはい。
Yes and yes. Likewise, I took the hammer and small welder Sarah had given me. Well, she did. You took the hammer and small welder Sarah gave her.
あとは
The rest is... Sarah found tools one after another as if she knew what she was doing. Unable to carry anymore, I put all the tools on the floor.
そんなところかしら。
Okay, so maybe they are handing them to him, okay. Something like that.
ナッキョ先輩の言った工具、すべて揃いました。
Hey, I've got all the tools Nakia mentioned.
え？どこに？
Huh, where? Yeah, they're at my feet. Okay, so I misread it, right? She is not bringing the tools to you, she is actually bringing the tools to the kid.
ほんと？あんたたちよく探せたわね。
Really? I'm surprised you guys managed to find them. You look surprised and interested. Putting the tools that seemed to be necessary into the toolbox, I let Takeshi carry them as if he would naturally. And naturally had Takeshi carry them. Well, I headed off to the neutral buoyancy elevator. We ran up the long staircase. Which is odd because, like, weren't they already on Ersteboden? With the sound of the toolbox rattling from the vibrations, I could hear Takeshi's wearied breath. Takeshi's panting or gasping for breath could be heard. Takeshi, are you okay?
何のこらしき。あの人に比べれば。
Compared to that person, this is nothing. What kind of Freudian slip is this? Yeah. That person? Who is he talking about? Were you carrying Tsugumi around or something? I thought Tsugumi was supposed to be light, according to Takeshi. And isn't Takeshi, like, way buffer, like, way beefier than this guy, than who is pretending to be Takeshi here? So he would have a easier time carrying this toolbox. They go, but this is the cardio issue. Yeah, but, like, in the immediate sense, having stronger legs makes it easier. And then it gets harder. We made our way down the deserted corridor. The clanking sounds of tools echo strangely in my ears. Yeah, who did that guy carry? Like, what? I guess he might anticipate he has to carry that person in the future, but I know he won't. EI elevator. Let's see here. I guess it's we arrive at the EI elevator station. It sounds less like an elevator stop. It looks less like an elevator stop, more like a boarding gate for some other vehicle.
これがエレベーターか。
Is this the elevator? Yeah. Is this the elevator?
そう。これが中性浮力式エレベーター I。I とはドイツ語で卵のことを意味するわ。
Oh, it's pronounced A-I or I. Okay. This is the new neutral buoyancy elevator, the I elevator. I means egg in German. Okay.
文字通り卵型をした潜水球。バラストタンクで浮力を調整して側面に設置されたレールに沿って海中を上下に移動する乗り物よ。
So is that a German pun to egg the Somnium Files? What does that have to do with eggs? Okay. It's literally an egg-shaped diving ball. It's a vehicle that adjusts its buoyancy with a ballast tank to move up and down along the rails set up on the sides.
それってほとんど潜水艦じゃないか。
He's gonna ask if he can go to the surface. Isn't that almost a submarine?
これに乗ってここから脱出できるんじゃないのか？
Is it possible to get on this and get out of here?
レールにしっかり固定されているから無理でしょうね。そんなことより早く乗り込みましょう。
It's firmly fixed on the rail, so it's probably impossible. More importantly, let's hurry up and get in. Saying that, you boarded the I elevator. You presses the button, and the watertight doors attaching to the Lemieux side of the elevator close themselves tightly.
ここまでは海水電池でも作動するみたいだけど。
Looks like the seawater battery will work up to a point, but... What's a seawater battery?
海水につけるとすぐに電気を発電する電池のことよ。レミューでは非常時は緊急バッテリーと海水電池で最低限の施設維持がされるのよ。
It's a battery that generates electricity as soon as it's submerged in seawater. In Lemieux, emergency... whole batteries. In Lemieux, the emergency water heater and seawater batteries are enough to maintain the minimum facilities. Okay, in the event of an emergency in Lemieux.
緊急シャッターとかハッチとかね。だけど
Emergency shutters, hatches, but you presses the 3 button on the panel over and over. However, there's no sign of the EI activating. And how they sunk it... So, you would think, okay, there's 4 people in the toolbox in the elevator now, as opposed to just 2 people in the toolbox on the elevator on the Takeshi side. So it's more likely to just sink on its own. That being said, the 2 people were heavier people on the Takeshi side, but more people would probably be more important than that. Tsugumi apparently wasn't that heavy. how they do this in the original is they add even more weight by using a giant frozen tuna, which I haven't seen show up here yet. So we'll see if the giant frozen tuna shows up. But it was that had more to do with like the way the accident happened in the original was more like dramatic and catastrophic feeling, right? Where they had like seawater flood in and there were like there's like a layer of water on the floor of the entire Drite stock with dead fish in it and stuff like that. The frozen tuna would have been busted out of a freezer. Things are more like nasty like that. They didn't do things like they kind of doesn't fit the atmosphere of the remake. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, they needed more. They had 4 people in the toolbox, supposed to 2 people in the toolbox, but when you just added the giant frozen tuna, that was enough to finally make it sink. The inside of the dimly lit eye didn't look like electricity was coming.
やっぱりこっちまでは電源は来てないか。それなら。
So the power is still not here then. We're going to have you flood the elevator? Well, saying that, she put the operating lever labeled emergency connection lock into release. For a moment, I feel a slight floating sensation at my feet. What's so wrong with this group of text? But after that, the EI stopped and did not start moving.
なんだよ。全然沈まないじゃないか。
It's not sinking at all.
そうみたいね。
Well, are we going to get a variation on Tsugumi CG with you? Looks like it. Or we're going to finally introduce the tuna. Isn't it because the electricity is so great that it just doesn't work? Right? It requires too much power? Yeah, I guess it's because the electricity required probably is so powerful that it doesn't work, right?
愛は中性浮力を利用してるから基本的には動力を必要としないの。
Well, the idea is after the people walk out, it like preemptively, for some reason, even though it's locked to Ersteboden, would release the ballast so that it's still neutral while locked. So if you walk in and it doesn't fill up the ballast again, then you could potentially sink it. No, I's using androgynous buoyancy, so it basically doesn't need power. Androgynous. Now it's just neutral buoyancy, so it doesn't need any power.
ただしバラストタンクの注水時、排水時、その時にだけ電力を用いるわ。
It doesn't make any sense. You need some sort of pump. So I'm sorry, you need some sort of pump to make it work. However, when the ballast tank is flooded or drained, it uses electricity only then. Well, yes.
でも今は停電してるから。
But right now, there's no power, right? You can't control the pump for the ballast, so that's how it is, right?
そう。
Yep.
なんだ。それじゃあ結局のところ動かせないんじゃねえか。
That was a weird translation I made. I'll translate that to yep. What? Then we can't move it? The bending part. Okay, it's wrong kanji. We can't move it then. You can't move the weight then. Or something like that.
バカね。そうじゃないでしょ。あんたそれでも大学生なの？
Idiot, huh? That's not it. Are you still a... Are you really a college student?
悪かったな。じゃあ分かるように説明してくれよ。
I'm sorry, then explain it to me so I can understand.
はいはい、先生。
Yes, yes, teacher.
はい、松永くん。
Yes, Matsunaga-kun.
浮力を利用して昇降するってことは、エレベーターの総重量が浮力を上回れば沈むと思います。
If you use buoyancy to go up and down, you'll sink if the total weight of the elevator exceeds the buoyancy, or exceeds the weight of the water it
その
displaces.
通り。
Exactly.
もちろん少年も分かってるよね。
Of course you understand too, don't you, young man? I'm gonna say yes, I do. Which is the top choice. I can understand that much Japanese. Then a word popped into my head. Archimedes principle. The buoyancy of an object is equal to the weight of the liquid that the object pushes aside.
いやー、すごい。二人とも頭いい。
You two are so atamai, which is I guess it's Google Translate is also saying warm, but like that's weird. Okay. Okay, both of you are so warm. It's not atatakai though, it's atamai. You patted Sarah on the head as she said that. Then she said... Oh. No, there's no then she said. That's just the end of the sentence. Huh? I don't have any memory, so how do I know about that? Because you got Takeshi's somehow.
それってどういうことだ？
You got it from Tsugumi very indirectly. What do you mean by that?
つまりね、今エレベーターにかかっている浮力はエレベーター全体の総重量とちょうど釣り合ってるの。
In other words, right now the buoyancy of the elevator is exactly balanced with the total weight of the elevator.
だからエレベーターをどんどん重くしてやれば、いずれそれが浮力を上回って。
So if you make the elevator heavier and heavier, it'll eventually surpass the buoyancy.
エレベーターは沈むようになる。
Or just a little bit heavier, actually, if you say it's balanced right now. It could be hitting the top of the rails, but the elevator will sink.
そういうこと。
That's how it is.
迷ったら賢い賢い。
Mayo, come on, come on. They're just gonna stick stuff from the warehouse into it? You patted Sarah on the head.
どっかの誰かさんと違ってね。
Well, before that super long conversation about archaeology, I'm going to stop this here and then figure out how to do that terrible overdub, which is going to be very janky later and not lined up in time and all kinds of a mess to try to salvage whatever I can out of that bad footage. Okay. to remember that this is the wrong save file. Save files are out of order. I mean, I can look at the time, but I probably was load the wrong one and have to go back and reload the right one. Okay. Exit. Yes, save my system data. And then look at the CG gallery. Pan over. Okay, so basically got another variation of this. Yep. It's Takeshi's shadow there, it's interesting. And then this.